Welcome to the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And this snoring dog is Athena. And together we are working to connect women in leadership and business, build relationships, empower each other, improving the health and wellness of our communities, body, mind, and soul, sharing the heart and soul of who we are and what we do.
Today's guest is the founder of Glimmer Learning LLC, a company specializing in virtual engagement training and coaching for speakers. Lisa is a certified master trainer and virtual facilitator, bringing 2 decades of experience along with tools and techniques to her clients to teach them how to feel confident, bring their natural charisma, and connect more authentically every single time they speak. Her mission is to empower people to share their message, to have their voices heard so that their spark can shine bright and light up the world. Please welcome back to the table the fascinating Lisa Hannigan. Lisa, it's so nice to see you today.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be back with y'all. We had so much fun the last time.
I know. So take a couple of minutes and reintroduce yourself.
Well, like you said, I am the founder of Glimmer Learning, and I do coach for video and online speaking, and I also have a show now for basically a subset of what I do. It's called Engage and Shine on the Win Women platform, and I love doing this show because, to me, I see it as a way for people to find me and kind of get to know me and hang out with me, kind of like what y'all do on your show. But I love doing it because I feel like it's become like my new passion project or my new adventure, so to speak, really getting to share with women out there and educate and empower them about how important it is to share their message and their voice. No matter what it is that they're doing and no matter what stage they want to be on, because we're all on a different stage, whether it's in life or in your business, whether it's a physical stage, a virtual stage, or even just communicating in general. And I'm really having a lot of fun doing the show itself. So kind of like, you two, I watch you two, how much fun you have. It makes me sometimes wish I had a co-host with me. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. So I'm excited doing that.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, especially when you're just sharing that love and joy out into the world as you do, and which is like the foundation of the work that all three of us do, right?
Yeah.
And the work that a lot of our other guests and women in leadership are doing. They're empowering each other, and
on that note, I have to share that one of my passion projects that I'm working on, that I'm getting together, is on our website. I want to have all of us that have a podcast or YouTube channel to be on a page. So like, no matter what time of day, maybe you wake up at 3:00 in the morning and your brain has overrun you and you need to tap into something positive, but you don't want to just go to social media and pick something, a place of purpose. So like that we could share and like, oh, I love how Lisa says things. I can just go listen to her latest thing in one spot, like, oh, a spot that we can all go to. So that's the stepping stone for our next bigger picture.
Yeah.
So
we have some pretty big dreams, and we're building that network and empowering each other, because you can't do everything alone. You have to reach out to your people and be like, oh, this is your skill set, right? Let me have you take care of this piece for me, because that is your jam, right? And you're really good at that. Maybe you could teach me how to improve myself here, whatever the case may be. It's just really cool to be able to do that with our friends, basically, right? Because we're building that rapport with each other, and we're building that love and trust with each other. And that's the first people that pop into my head for recommendations, right?
Mhm.
And it's the first people that pop into my head when I need something. Like, oh, who in my network, who do I know that does this? Right?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and that's what it's about. That's why it's so good to get to know, what each other does and where, that way you can, like you said, immediately that person pops in your head.
Mhm. Oh, and other people's passions are solutions to your problems. So like you may not even know, like, okay, I know I'm stepping into faith. I know that there's this like place over there and I would like to get there, but I have absolutely no idea how to get there. And someone else's passion is that bridge that gets you there.
Mhm.
And that you don't know that if you're just sitting and only keeping your perspective. So by reaching out and getting out of your own head and being present in these conversations and connecting in communities, sharing your heart with people, it's such a blessing to yourself
Mhm.
to do. Like you're giving to other people on your terms.
Which is this week's theme is truthfulness and sincerity. So it's being truthfulness and sincere with yourself and with others about who you are and what your passions are, in order to make those connections. Lisa?
Yes, yes. And I love that so much because if we're not, truthful with ourselves, or we don't really know who we are, we can't really connect with others. I mean, and because that's where it begins, right? That's really where it begins, is really knowing yourself, being truthful with yourself. And I think sometimes we have to work on that because we don't, and that comes up a lot of times when I work with clients. And that's why my show, you'll see my slogan is, I believe we all have a spark that's ready to be lit. And I say that every single show. That's part of my intro. And it's true, because, and that comes from working with my clients, literally watching their spark inside of them get engaged, because all of a sudden something turns on. And I think that spark is them finding that truth inside them and going, oh, this is me. This is my message. This is my voice. And really connecting with that inside them. So I love this topic. I love the whole theme, the whole energy around this, because it's so true.
Absolutely. So something that came to mind is like, what does it look like when we're following our truth, when we're living in that truth and sincerity? And then the first words I thought of is fulfilled, right?
I thought of confidence.
That's good too.
Yeah. I think really both of those are, I think fulfilled and confidence are beautiful words. I think when we're living to our fullest and being truthful, though, I think it's trust. I mean, for me, I think I feel trust, and that's trusting in myself and trusting in others too, that I'm connecting, and that everything they see is right there. Like they see me.
Wow.
It's lovely.
Such powerful words. Confidence.
It's nice to be seen for you. I like the way you said that. Like, not for the color of your hair,
not
not for
anything on the outside.
Yeah. For you.
For you.
Which is
For
the
the real
heart,
you.
connecting to that heart and soul of.
And I think it also takes practice to get to know yourself and to keep knowing yourself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of work. Tears will be shed.
But feel the feels. I think that's been one of the bigger changes for me lately, is realizing the feels are going to come, right? And that the hormonal process in our bodies takes about 90 seconds to happen. So if you have a really strong emotion, if you can figure out how to ride that 90 seconds, it's going to pass. So that's where the tools of deep breaths come in. That's where, yeah.
And and it's got a lot to do with the confidence, being confident, right?
Yes. And that's, I think, where all of what the three words that we just said, where they connect, they come together. Because if you trust yourself, then that brings confidence. And then you can live a more fulfilled life and step into everything that you want to do.
Absolutely.
I love it.
It's building that personal dream.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes work inside.
And sometimes
and
the
out.
personal dream is just about how you want to feel.
Right.
Like it starts like that, like, I'm not comfortable feeling this way every single day. So then it starts you on the path to find that spark, right? Like where do I go now? How do I find the joy in things?
But you have to decide to do it.
Yeah. Oh,
There's that word again.
back to
Decide.
Decide.
Yes.
Choose.
Yes. Yes. And I did in the buff community, that was my live last Friday. I always try to come on and just plant a seed. And that was one of the things that I said was, even if you decide not to make a choice, you've still made a choice. And that's so true. I mean, we have to decide what is next, or where are we going. And I love what you just said about, feeling comfortable or uncomfortable, and what are we going to do about that. We have to trust those instincts, is that intuition inside of us, and really let it guide us, and make a choice about what we're going to do about it.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's like the 4th or 5th episode we talked about Vivica, which is keen discernment, which is making decisions. And so it's been something that I've been working on since then. And now I'm seeing like the decision making is so much easier, but it's been 6 months, you guys. Like, that week really resonated with me as something that I needed to work on regularly, is making a decision timely, and figuring out to trust myself that I can make the decision. And it's just making huge differences.
Right, because for some reason you had an agreement with yourself about not making decisions, that your decisions were not worthy.
Right, like that I couldn't do it. So then, the trash sits there for a minute, like, that turns into a week, like, things like, what really that,
Lisa, have you ever read The 4 Agreements?
I don't think, no.
Okay.
No.
I have been rereading 4 Agreements in preparation for the 4 Agreements week that we are having in July, the first week of July. And it talks about all these little agreements that we make within ourselves that we have to, like, that aren't good for us because of fear and shame. And breaking those agreements. And then the 4 agreements are ones that you make in order to live that more fulfilled life, and it helps break those other agreements down, like feeling like you're not enough and things like that. And it's really cool, and I'm actually really excited about it. I get to go.
Wow, I like the sound of this book.
And we have a link in our on our website, in our Grow With Us page. It's not very big. It's
No.
a little ancient wisdom.
Little Toltec book. It is 138 pages.
Oh, okay. That's my kind of book.
Right. And it's like
And
14-point font.
And it's meaty enough that you want to highlight half of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
I
it has
have
got like wisdom, like
so
we
much
sit down and
highlighted.
we'll just read a page and be like, oh my gosh.
Wow. I
Stop
love
calling me
it.
out.
I love it. I would love for you, if you wouldn't mind, to share that on a Toolbox Tuesday in the buff community as a great, a recommendation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I love your Toolbox Tuesdays.
Yeah,
that's so
yeah.
cool.
That's what I love about, I love having a theme, and that's why I love your show, because you have themes and stuff. And that was a day that I knew I had to incorporate, because I feel like, when we can share things like that book and different things that we find, because we're always finding things, women are just so naturally curious, and we're always finding things. So please, if you wouldn't mind, I would love for y'all to share that book.
Absolutely. I would be happy to share it, because I believe this book is meant to be passed on, because every single copy I have found of it has either been at a secondhand store. This one was given to me by a friend. She's like, oh, you got to read this book.
Oh.
And in the inside, it says Trish, right? Not me. And then in the inside flap, it has another name.
Oh, look at that.
Also not me. And then I found one at the secondhand store for Heather, and she's got a couple of different names and things in her book.
I was like, oh, it's not on the shelf today.
It's almost like each woman should be leaving a little note to like their key takeaway to pass on to the next woman.
One of our local what is it, like community, what would you call it, the coop?
Oh, the community workspace.
A community workspace, and they have a bookshelf up there of like books that people have read, and that's the idea, is that you write in the book, like,
oh, I love it,
so that you're sharing more the wisdom that inspired you from the book, like,
yeah.
So yeah, absolutely, should definitely start doing that, like lending library. I also heard a thing too, like if you get to a book and you open it, and like you randomly open somewhere in the middle-ish, and you write like only winners make it this far, text me when you get here and we'll talk, or like, so there's like a little like person, like when they get to that page that they text you, and then that they read the book. And
oh, that's cool. I like that.
I was like, that's kind of cool too. That would be really cool for like your book too, like when you write in your book, like,
considering my chapter is chapter 13, I'd like for them to make it to there.
Right, like, and send me an email when you make it here, like, I can't wait to talk to you, like a little, like,
and we will be talking about Lisa's book during book week, which
is the second week in July.
It's Voices of the 21st Century, Conscious Caring Women Who Make a Difference.
Yes.
And got Lisa's beautiful picture on the back.
It's beautiful. I didn't want to like bend the spine, like when I love a book when I can like bend it, but it's so beautiful. I was like carefully, like, it's like the finish is beautiful on it, like it's soft, it's like the whole like care of like the whole process with it is, I'm gonna put my coffee down before I spill it. Textures matter, like.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because this may sound silly, but this is the little girl in me. So when I was deciding whether I was going to be a part of this collaborative book, they showed me the idea for, hey, this is what we're thinking the cover might look like. And they had all the sparkles all on it. And I was like, I'm in.
It's my soul. It's sparkles. Yeah, it's so pretty.
I was just like, that was like my main deciding factor, as silly as that sounds. I was like, oh, I'm in. I love it.
You're like, I don't know. Yep, I'm in.
Now that you said yes to that, adventure, right? You're like,
Yeah.
it's got sparkles, I'm in. And then you said yes to that adventure. And
You
all
didn't just say yes, you said heck yes.
Right? all the goodness that has come from that,
Yeah.
right? When you just say yes. When Allie, she came on as a guest, we met her through a LinkedIn, right? She reached out to us for LinkedIn. We had her on as a guest, and she's like, I want you guys on to come to my, oh gosh,
Women empowering women
Visibility U
Summit.
e-summit, right?
Summit.
It's like in January, right?
Yeah, the one that
Yes.
was in January.
Yes.
She
Yes.
asked us on the podcast, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then I looked at Charlie. I'm like, I don't know what we just said yes to. I'm sorry. Well,
like,
we're doing it, whatever it is. I'm in.
And there's been so much growth and goodness come from that, and it's been truly amazing. And it's through those connections and networking with other women and empowering and loving on other women that all this is happening. And so
Filling the space with love. I keep hearing that this month.
yeah.
Francie talked about it. We've been talking about filling our spaces coming from love. So if we're coming from love, we're not in that limiting, fearful place.
Going forward in truth and love. It's always a good choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and that's just, I think that's when you're being, that's when you're being genuine, and you may be still a little uncertain in your choice. However, I think that's okay. You don't always know what's going to happen,
Right.
and it's funny that we're kind of talking about it, because that's what my show is about tomorrow. It's traveling with fear in your back seat. And and you don't know, you don't know everything that's going to happen, and that's why we're fearful. Is that you don't know, you don't know what's going to happen. However, there are some things that you can control, and those things that you can control, those unknown factors that you can make known, will work on those things and work on those, equip yourself and prepare yourself for what you can make known, and then go forward. And things, if you come from a place of love, like what you just said, and you've got good intentions, those things will work themselves out. You will be given the resources. Someone will come along to support you, and just, it will work out. And you know what? If it doesn't, you know what? You will fumble, and you'll get back up, and you'll learn, and you'll. It's going to work out if you're coming from the right place. So
I've also found that if things don't work out the way we want them to or expect them to, that's okay, because there's something better coming.
Yeah, they work out when they're meant to.
Yeah. And a lot of times, if we just ask ourselves, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And if you actually ask yourself that, it sometimes it will make you a little less fearful, because then you actually go, well, I guess this is what that worst thing is, and I guess that's not so bad, and it makes you realize that, well, what am I so scared of? So,
and if you look back at the choices you've made in your life, and then you think about all the things that you learned to bring you to the person and the place where you are, you really wouldn't change any of it. With all the pain, all the struggles and things like that is part of what built you.
exactly.
Right.
Yep.
That's so true.
That self-acceptance piece of knowing yourself, like, I didn't know then, and it's okay that I didn't know then.
Yeah.
Well, something that we have learned Completely. I'm going to
Completely.
segue. That was pretty heavy for a second. So I'm going to segue. I love this beautiful picture behind your head, and it fits fabulously with our cause of the quarter this quarter.
Mhm.
Our cause of the quarter is called the Boogie Bin, and they are a local nonprofit organization that collects gently used or new pet supplies for pets in need. And it's a great way to
Nonprofit shelters, all those things. Yeah.
share things that you've had from puppies that have grown, or when we've lost our loved one. It's a place, good organization to donate to, and it's really cool. She was on the podcast
Last week.
this week.
This week.
Don't ask us what day it is. Don't ask us the date.
Yeah.
Time is not linear.
Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yes. She was on Tuesday, and she shared all about her heart and soul and love for animals, and wanting to be able to support the people that are on the ground doing the love and support for our rescue puppies or rescue kitties or rescue any
Whatever's-
animal.
Mhm.
Insert animal of choice for baby feather baby. I was like, what's the other F word there that I can say?
And even our local wildlife rescue.
Yeah.
So,
She's even sent stuff to the Ukraine to
mhm,
help over there with pets over there to
mhm.
help. So
She's really got a heart of gold for sure. And it's a great, great nonprofit. And if you would like to support, I've put the links in the comments. And we just want to send as much love and support her way as we can. And yeah, so we're happy to love and support them too. So
absolutely.
that being said, what else? Oh, upcoming events. Check out the community calendar on the website at www.womeninleadership.bsmb. We have lots of other stuff there too. So
And things are
check it out,
coming.
check it out.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I just need to have a few things done. I get to reward myself by doing more
Mhm.
community things on our
Mhm.
website after I get some work done. It's my reward.
And
she's like, "You're working." No, I'm not. I
Uh,
love it.
last thing I want to do is I want to remind you guys that starting any day now, Facebook is going to stop hosting podcasts on Facebook platform. Like you can't download the podcast off of Facebook. So if you have a different app like Spotify, Audible, we are
Apple
everywhere
Podcasts,
but
Google
Pandora,
Podcasts,
basically.
Even all the little ones. Like I'm pretty amazed at like the popularity of some of those littler podcast apps.
Yep. So go find us on your favorite app platform and download us over there, because
You can find that on the
available.
website. So you go to
Yes.
the listen to me section, and you can literally click on Audible, and it'll take you to your Audible app, and you can subscribe to it there. Spotify.
So another
Yeah,
thing to
all
do
the
with
links are there.
our other wonderful podcast friends and things like that. If you've been getting them on Facebook,
Make sure that
you're subscribing to them on the other on the app, whatever app you use, so that you continue to get those connections as well. Yeah. So again, Lisa, thank you again so much for joining us today. We love your heart and soul, and just love spending time with you in this space of
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm always honored to be in your presence. Y'all are just amazing. I love what you're doing. I love just your energy and the community that you have. So thank you for having me again. I was so excited to come back.
if you have if you would like to reach out to Lisa, again, her information is in the comments or in the description attached to the podcast. So reach out to her. She's amazing. And check out the Buff community. Woo! All right.
Whoop.
We love you all. We appreciate you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.